Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I am talking about beautiful records and I've got several pressings that I have compared and I'm going to share with you the records that I think sound the best. I'm talking about originals, something from the Impex label, Mobile Fidelity, CBS Mastersounds. I've got a lot of different pressings here and I'm going to talk about them and let you know what I think sounds the best. And of course, this is just my opinion on my turntable with my ears and what I like to hear. And I know everybody's different, but I think these videos are a lot of fun. I love watching other people talk about what they think sounds great. It's just a great way for the vinyl community to kind of come together and talk about pressings. I honestly think it makes those labels push harder to do better. They watch these videos too. So maybe not mine, but they watch some of them anyway. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe. It would really help if you hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to talk about a really cool record. It is Miles Davis ESP. It's a good record. It is not one of my favorites by Miles Davis, but it has some really cool factors, a lot of great players on here. First off, can we just talk a little bit about the beauty of Frances Taylor Davis? She was gorgeous. For some reason, he's looking at her in this picture like he's a little confused. He shouldn't have been confused about her. She was a classic beauty. If you've ever seen the cover of Someday My Prince Will Come, I mean, it's just a timeless portrait of her. She was a dancer, so she had these killer legs. She was a beautiful woman. And this is a really nice record. I'm glad he put her on the cover. Just makes it that much better. And there are killer players on here. We're talking about Wayne Shorter on the tenor saxophone, Tony Williams on drums, Ron Carter on bass, Herbie Hancock on piano. As I've said, this isn't my favorite Miles Davis record. It's not even in the top 3 or so, but it's really good. And I really especially love when Miles and Wayne are kind of playing together simultaneously. I love Herbie. I think he sounds great on here with the piano. It is a good, solid record by Miles Davis. So this is the Impex version of it. It's all tubes, all analog, great, great pressing. I think I bought this from the In Groove in Phoenix from Mike for $32.99, so it wasn't a bad price. It's a 33 RPM record, and it really is nice on 180 gram vinyl. I love that they replicated the original 2i Columbia label. So a wonderful record. And what I did, I already had this one. This was the first one I had. But when Mobile Fidelity announced that their version of it had come back in stock, my first thought was, I don't need it. I don't need it. And then, of course, you all probably know, some of you do anyway, know that little voice in the back of your head that says, if you don't buy this version, you're going to regret it because you have a lot of the other Mobile Fidelity Miles Davis records. So I thought about it for a little while and I just thought, you know what? I'd rather regret getting it than regret not getting it. So this is the 45 RPM version. I love the album cover. I love that Mobile Fidelity has this really heavy album covers. I'm really into them. Really pretty. My copy is number 4017. The gold stamp is always very nice. So another really great one. This is 2 LPs, 45 RPM. So I put against the Impex version against the 45 RPM. And automatically you would think, okay, Mobile Fidelity has a built-in advantage. 45 RPM versus 33 RPM. But the advantage, as we know now, for Impex is this is an all analog pressing. Or so we assume at this point. We haven't heard anything differently, and I do believe the company deserves the benefit of the doubt until found out differently, you know. So, I got both of them and played both of them. They're both enjoyable listens, but for me, I like Mobile Fidelity's better. I just think it has a larger sound stage. I think they're crisper and punchier. It just depends on what you like. I really like the sharp turns and the sharp edges of this album on Mobile Fidelities. The one from Impex is a little quieter, a little softer, and at times I think that that's a good thing for this record. I think that at times the trumpet can be a little harsh. He kind of goes into some harsh playing at times, and yet in the end, when it's beautiful, it's beautiful. When it's punchy, it's punchy. And I really do think this Mobile Fidelity version, even though it's not analog, sounds the best. That's just my opinion. And I know a lot of people get very frustrated when I talk about Mobile Fidelity and then I'm still buying their records, and I get it. And my heart goes out to the people who live in other countries that have to pay more for Mobile Fidelity records. Just for me, when I'm buying records, the criteria is I want something that sounds great that I can play and enjoy. And that's it. I was never into the hobby for strictly analog, although that's what I thought I was getting when I'm buying vinyl, and especially with those older records. Of course, that's what I'm into. But at the bottom line, I don't have to pay the enormous prices that people from other countries are paying for Mobile Fidelity, and they just sound great. And that's really the only criteria I ever had, was to get great sounding records. So for me on that one, they're both great. If you have the Impex version, you probably would never need the Mobile Fidelity version, but I prefer Mobile Fidelity in that case. Now I want to talk to you about another fantastic record from Bob Dylan. I'm wearing a Bob Dylan shirt. Let me see. I'll probably have to do a little jump here. Oh, woof. I love this shirt. I love the green on it. I just think it's a really cool shirt. I got it off Amazon. It was really cheap, a great deal. So love Bob Dylan. I'm a late comer to him, but I really like him. And I want to talk a little bit about this album, Nashville Skyline. Anytime I play it, because I play a lot of Bob Dylan, I'm always taken aback by the voice on this one. It is like no other album he's ever done. And if you did not know, if you could not see the picture, you were just listening to the music, you would never know it's Bob Dylan. He changed his style and his voice completely. You know, I've heard two different theories. One of them is that he just wanted to sound a little more country. He was inspired by people like Johnny Cash, who's on this record. And he just wanted to do something a little different from what he was doing before. He was he was always into changing and evolving. He was always into that. So I can kind of understand in that regard. Someone else one time when I was watching a video said he changed his voice because after his motorcycle accident, he had amnesia. He forgot the way he sang. That sounds a little far-fetched. Seems like he would have just maybe listened to one of his own records and said, oh, okay, that's how I sound. So I don't know if I buy that, but I thought it was an interesting theory. Anyway, this is an original. It is a 2i Columbia label. This is the first copy of this record I ever bought. I got it for so cheap. I'm so excited to have that one. And then a couple years later, I found this one. It is the half-speed mastered CBS Mastersound version. These are hit and miss. Some of these records sound great. I have great copies like Toto 4, I think sounds fantastic on the CBS Mastersound. This one, I will let you know in a minute. I also have a Journey Separate Ways record that sounds absolutely no different than an original. So these are always kind of tricky. I didn't pay a lot. I paid more than I paid for the original, but I didn't pay a ton of money for this one. So it was really nice to add to the collection. And when we were back in April, my husband and I, we went and saw the Zombies in Nashville. And of course, I had to go to a couple of record stores while I was there. They had the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab version of Nashville Skyline by Bob Dylan at a certain record store. I'm not going to name the name, but they wanted over $200 for it. So I just kind of assumed, okay, it's out of print and it's now selling for over $200. Well, at least I got this one. I have the original, whatever. And then after this whole mobile Fidelity explosion happened, I think it was like the day of or really close to, Mobile Fidelity announced that this was back in stock for maybe an hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know. It immediately sold out. Thank you to Mike in Nebraska. You gave me the heads up on this and I was able to get it. So I now have the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab version of Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline. And I'll be really honest with you, at this point, I don't even know what the difference is between original master recording and Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. I guess it means that they never had access to the original tapes when you see this. With the others, they had access to the original tapes and they made a DSD file out of it. With this, they never even had the original tapes. So, it was over $200 at a record store and I was able to get it for $60. It's the 45 RPM 2LP set. Fantastic. And I couldn't resist buying it. Let me take these records out so I can tell you what my number copy is. It's copy number 3635. It's showing sold out now on Mobile Fidelity's website, so I don't know if it's going to come back or not. I really don't know. I think the greatest hits by Bob Dylan's coming back. I don't know what else. I think they said the mono versions of records are done, completely done, and they're not coming back. But maybe some of the stereo versions are, so we will just see. So I gave all three, the original, the CBS half-speed mastered, and the Mobile Fidelity record, I gave them all a listen. Gorgeous records. I do enjoy this one a lot. It's not my favorite Bob Dylan record, but it's really high up there. And here is how I rank them. Again, my opinion, my ears, my turntable. So first off, if you have any of these three records, you have a beautiful copy because they all sound outstanding. They really do. They did a great job. Bob Dylan records tend to sound really, really great. I think they want to please him, and I don't blame them. So I say the original barely comes in third place. Barely. And having said that, it's an original, and it sounds fantastic. So don't sweat it. It is a great sounding pressing, and it's really all you need. His voice is so billowy and soft on that one. It's just amazing. This one too, it's just very clean and beautiful. I would say the only reason why I give this one a little step up above the original is I feel like you hear a little more of the details of the guitar on it, and that is it. Again, his vocals are very billowy and soft and really, really good. So the original is third place, but it's a really competitive race and it's still fantastic. In second place, I give this half-speed mastered CBS Mastersound recording. It's really good too. Again, and you guys are probably going to shoot me for this because I know how some of you feel about Mobile Fidelity right now, and I don't blame you. I get it. We can disagree, but this one sounds so good. And it's not that it's so much better than the others. I would just say on this one, the sound stage is a lot larger. It's very noticeable. And then you hear more details on guitar playing. His voice, it depends on how you like his voice. On the other two, it's very billowy and soft. There's a little more grit to this one. You hear his voice sounds a little stronger on this one. That's all. It just depends on what you like. I just think this is so sharp and so crisp. It is a 45 RPM, so it does have its built-in advantages already. And it's more expensive, so you're paying more for this one. The other two are less expensive. And you also have to get up and change the record more often on this one with being 45 RPM. So you got to weigh that into. Convenience does matter, So these are just really great records. I feel so honored to have beautiful Miles Davis records, beautiful Bob Dylan records. I enjoy them so much. And I'm not going to just pull out this one. I will occasionally pull out. I'll be like, I'm in the original mood. I want to hear an original or the CBS Mastersound version. I get into different moods where I want to hear different records. And sometimes my dog's laying on my lap and I don't want to get up for a 45 RPM record, so I choose a 33 RPM. So they kind of come in very handy in that regard too. So those are my sound comparisons for Miles Davis ESP and Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline. Please leave your thoughts and feelings and try to be nice. I understand that this is a kind of a hard time for a lot of people. A lot of people have very strong opinions on this. I respect each and every one of you, and I hope you respect my feelings as well. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.